Tell me something. If you're interested in a company, should you not be able to buy stock in it? And if you want to speak about a particular stock, should you not be able to do that? All right, what about this? Is Cathie Wood talking about Tesla going to 7,000 any different to a few Reddit users talking about GME going to 1,000? What about when hedge funds and institutional investors go through the media and post news articles about a particular stock that they have a vested interest in? Is that more or less influential than a Reddit forum? Who knows? Maybe if Cathie Wood never spoke about how bullish she was on Tesla, they wouldn't be where they are at the moment. And maybe if a few clever Reddit users didn't speak about GameStop, maybe they wouldn't be where they are at the moment. But the fact is, they both happened. So which one is more immoral? Which one is more unethical? It's impossible to tell, right? And that's the point. And while I sit here in my Rage Against the Machine t-shirt, I'm going to try to be as impartial as I possibly can on a situation that's calling for some serious action. Many people are posing some theories that there are some parties that are acting out of their own self-interest. But who might those be? And why are companies like Robinhood blocking buy trades on stocks like GME? Doesn't the name Robinhood suggest stealing from the rich and giving to the needy? So why are they blocking trades from the needy? Are they protecting the rich? Well, stick around because we have a lot to cover in this video. I'm going to get to all of that and more because at the moment it's starting to shape up like a South Park episode, and I'm also sitting tight waiting for the documentary to come out. We all know it's coming. All right, now we all know this GameStop situation is growing like wildfire, and before I get to all of that, including Robinhood and so much more, I'm just going to go over a quick refresher course for anybody who's new to the story or just wants a really quick freshen up. So if you already know what's going on and you just want to skip to the new stuff where it all starts to piece together, skip to this point in the video. It's going to take you right there. GameStop is a huge retail gaming store that owns EB Games, and their business has been in a steady decline in recent years as they battle to survive a transition to online gaming, much like what happened to Blockbuster in recent years. Because of this very obvious decline, large hedge funds and institutional investors recognize this as an opportunity to take short positions in GameStop because they felt like the business was overvalued and destined to fail. And GameStop had decline written all over it until the narrative started to dramatically change. All of a sudden, the outlook on GameStop started to shift as some big corporations started to see it as something that was undervalued, and they sensed some opportunity. For example, even when GameStop was forced to close down more than 400 stores in 2020 and nearly 800 in the last 2 years, which should spell disaster, it drove online sales up more than 500%, which prompted interest from some big players like Microsoft, who entered a multi-year strategic partnership together. The billionaire co-founder of Chewy.com, Ryan Cohen, decided to take a large stake in the company because he saw upside in their online retail potential. And then in comes Wall Street bets, with people catching on to all this good news and recognizing that some of these changes might actually suggest that this company has a lot of potential. Now, granted, the OG, whose name I can't share on YouTube without being demonetized, got the ball rolling on Reddit by regularly posting his position in GME. He posted regular portfolio updates, which got as low as $61,000 in losses, but it all became worth it because in his January update, he showed gains of more than $31 million. And another Reddit user recognized something that made him stand in support of the original poster, let's call him DFE, recognizing that Ryan Cohen of Chewy.com jumping on board could only mean good things for GameStop, as he's selective about what companies he works with and has a strong track record in that space. And so started the revolution of GameStop, a story of the people versus the institution, David versus Goliath. And now we're in a position where we're playing a waiting game. Who can outlast who? Will it be the retail investors or the institutional investors? And so far, the institutional investors are losing so far. And in the peak of all of the madness on Thursday 28th, Robinhood and other brokers actually blocked their users from buying into a few select stocks like AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, and you guessed it, GameStop, which meant that people were only able to sell their positions, which forced the stock price down. And I'm no psychologist, but if I had shares in a company and I noticed that I wasn't able to make trades, that might scare me off as well. Not to mention that taking away people's ability to buy and sell stocks messes with the very fabrics of how the stock market works, and it shouldn't be allowed without serious ramifications or very, very good explanations. Stock traders are allowed to buy and sell shares whenever they please, within market hours, but messing and interfering with that process messes with the natural order. And it did not help Robinhood one bit when their CEO came out and tried to justify and explain the situation, doing a terrible job and really just adding fuel to the fire and raising some more eyebrows, the opposite of what he was going for. And now some users are claiming that this is market manipulation, and they have actually filed a class action lawsuit against Robinhood. And in fact, this lawsuit has gained so much traction and people are so outraged that they're actively joining the lawsuit through the use of online services like donotpay.com to voice their anger on the situation. Now, this class action lawsuit all started when one angry Robinhood customer was barred from making buy trades for GameStop stock. They claim that Robinhood's actions rigged the market against its customers, and they were done purposefully and knowingly to manipulate the market for the benefit of people and financial institutions who were not Robinhood customers. And Robinhood responded saying they were suffering from an influx in recent volatility. And surprise, surprise, when Robinhood released that freeze, the stock price went absolutely flying because now the investors were able to do what they wanted to do. Now, the plot thickens when people start to suspect that Robinhood's excuse of recent volatility is really a cover-up for something that is self-serving. And what people feel is really going on is that Robinhood is acting in the interests of parties that have a vested interest in either Robinhood or GameStop, and they're the ones pulling the strings. But is this actually the case? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's dive down the rabbit hole, or Robinhole, because connections are starting to be made and it's getting very, very spicy. Now, I have to say that I ain't nobody. I'm just a dude on the internet who's really interested in this story and is doing a lot of research. Look at these dark circles. I'm up all night researching this for myself and also for you guys for entertainment purposes. So the things I'm about to talk about are not facts. They are just theories that I've seen floated online, and I wanted to share it with you guys to make the most informed decisions that you can. Got it? All right. Cool, let's do it. Now, people have voiced concerns that the culprit behind these freezes is actually a company called Citadel, who routes Robinhood's trade orders. So even though Robinhood is the broker, they're not the ones who actually execute the trade. That is outsourced to a company called Citadel, and Robinhood is just the last line. It's the company that we see because it's the platform that we actually use. But when someone places a market order through Robinhood, they then outsource that to an external company called Citadel, who will then execute that trade on Robinhood's behalf. And the reason the plot thickens is because Citadel is also the same company that bailed out Melvin Capital's recent losses on GameStop's shorts, the biggest company so far to declare its losses on GameStop's rise in price. So the argument from Robinhood users, and believe me, they are getting loud, is that this clearly indicates market manipulation, and it also shows a conflict of interest. How can the company who bailed out the institutions who lost big money on shorting GameStop be the same company that executes Robinhood's buy trades? Are you starting to see how it connects? Are you piecing it all together? I'm telling you, this is a story for the ages. But sorry to immediately burst the bubble that I just created. Well, I didn't create it. It's something that's been stirring online and I thought I'd pass it on to you, but the actual story might not be nearly as exciting as that, and there are other explanations for what's going on. Robinhood is actually not the only brokerage that has come out and stalled trades because of the influx of buy orders. There've actually been quite a few. Now, when there's so many buy orders in place that are actually bankrupting people on the other end of the trade, there's actually no shares to go around to be bought. So what they have to do is halt or stall the trades so they can find their feet and let the market cool down for a moment. The only problem here is that the market was never going to cool down. This is the hottest topic in the world right now in the finance space. And while this might come across as market manipulation, the simple answer might be that's actually the only way they can execute the trades. There aren't enough people selling stock that people are wanting to buy. In fact, close to 120% of GameStop's float was in short positions, which meant that there were more shares being shorted than there were actually shares available, something that I didn't know existed until this week. And in fairness to Robinhood, they were not the only broker to freeze trades. A lot of different brokers were doing it. They just copped the brunt of the force because of the reputation that they have. And Vlad Tenev, Robinhood's CEO, did not do them any favors at all. Now, here's where things start to get fishy and the lines start to get a little bit blurred. On January 28th, the NASDAQ CEO said that the exchange will halt if it is linked to unusual social media chatter, which is a very suspicious concept and very, very open-ended, because at the end of the day, what does that exactly mean? What constitutes as unusual social chatter? Is it talking about the stock online? Am I not allowed to go on Facebook and talk about it with people in stock trading groups there? What about on Reddit? What about with my family? Where do we draw the line? Is there a difference between people who are posting online and people who are in news articles? Is there any difference between me talking about a stock and Kathy Wood talking about a stock? Everyone's just speaking their opinion. So how are they going to regulate it, and where are they going to draw the line? I understand that some regulators see what's happening on Reddit as market manipulation, but I'm not so sure that it falls under the same category. I mean, are people guilty if they're talking about a stock, thinking about something that they are interested in and sharing it with other people in the world online, which is a forum used for that purpose? I'm not so sure that that's been such a problem. But is it a problem now just because people are in trouble? Is it because the big dogs upstairs, the big institutional investors, are having dramas? Is that why it's all of a sudden not allowed and it needs to be stopped? I don't know. Something smells fishy to me. Man! Does the finance sector get themselves into weird, wacky, and wonderful situations? Now, whichever way it does fall, all I can say is that it's a very complex issue. I am remaining completely impartial. I'm on the sidelines. If you are investing in GameStop or wanting to, please proceed with caution. It is a very complex issue with many, many layers and many, many hands involved. So please be super, super careful. Proceed with caution. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for sticking around. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!